Hi folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans, and today we've got a lot to talk about. My god, folks, Warner Bros. Discovery has been an ongoing disaster, to put it lightly. They've been making some cuts. We've seen a massive layoff. We're gonna be talking about those massive layoffs. We're seeing Cartoon Network merging with other studios. We're seeing clickbait from Valsky Bum. Rest in peace, Cartoon Network Studios? Question mark. And he literally has like a tombstone engraving here of 1994 to 2022. Like, they're not dead. Literally lying here. But yes, we're gonna go talk about this. And the most recent article I could find was Polygon here. Cartoon Network Studios is not shutting down, says Warner Bros. So that's a great place to start and debunk the clickbait online from certain YouTubers. And here we are on Polygon.com. I've said this dozens of times. Okay, I've used Polygon a couple times for their articles. Their reviews are terrible, and I hate Polygon. Okay, there, I've said it. I really don't like their video game reviews. That you can see them there. I just do not like Polygon, but whatever. They have the most recent up-to-date article here, so we're going to use them. But if you're a fan of Polygon, go use the website, show them some love, although I don't recommend it. And the article is by Nicole Clark. So we see here, Cartoon Network is not dead, says Warner Bros., but its future is uncertain. So Warner Bros. Animation and Cartoon Network Studios will be brought under one division, but brands will stay distinct. So they're not closing they're not shutting down like Cartoon Network, right? They're just doing a massive merger, and they're laying off a lot of employees, which is very scary, right? Like, it not only is it scary for those people, I literally have an entire YouTube career here where I talk about the latest cartoon news and shenanigans, as you always hear my intro. So, less people working on cartoons means less content for a guy like me. So everybody, it's an ecosystem. We're all getting affected here, especially if you love cartoons like I do. Things are not going well here. And Cartoon Network was a big part of my childhood, so it's sad to see that, they're going to be merging and laying off a shit ton of people. But, maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe they make these changes. They make these changes, a couple years go by, and they do some restructuring, right? David Zaslavs, the reason they brought him in to do the choppening, right? Do all these choppings and cuts. They brought him in so that they could save money, get out of debt. And once they're out of debt, maybe they'll go back to their more luscious spending years where they can afford to make all kinds of new cartoons. That'd be amazing, but it's going to take some years to get there. The pandemic really, really screwed everything over. People's watch time habits of television. I myself canceled television. If I want to watch Cartoon Network, I could just go watch it online. Like, who's paying for cable anymore? Very few people, and more people are cutting the cord year by year. So, it's no surprise that things like this are happening, but things are looking dark even on HBO Max, where like all the Cartoon Network stuff should be going. Good God, man. They're not paying creators because they don't want to give out royalties. It's just, it's a shit show. It really is a shit show. But let's read here. On Wednesday, Warner Bros. TV Group laid off 82 staffers across scripted, unscripted, and animated divisions. 82 there. A Warner Bros. Representative confirmed to Polygon the company will leave 43 of the current unfilled positions empty, while the 3 brand label Warner Bros. Animation WBA, Cartoon Network Studios, and Hanna-Barbera Studios will remain distinct. WBA and CNS development and production teams will be brought under one division. So they basically said, okay, guys, instead of having like 3 or, how many studios do they have here? 2, WBA and CNS development. Instead of having 2 different production teams, they're like, hey guys, we're going to like cut some jobs here and merge you guys into one division. So that's what's going on there. According to Deadline, Warner Bros. Has also stepped back on its initial decision to shutter the Warner Bros. Television Workshop. I'm not even sure what that is, which was designed to foster a new talent and provide a pipeline that many in the animation have cited as invaluable in helping marginalized creators break into a highly competitive field. And this is really interesting because we're seeing, I've heard a lot of rumors. I've watched a lot of Clownfish TV, and they frequently talk about like insiders from like Hollywood saying that out of everybody, white people are literally being like, apparently if you're a white straight guy that's conservative, you can't even get a job in Hollywood in some places. So you know, it's interesting that they're focusing more on this whole like marginalized creators thing, while white people literally cannot find work themselves, who you would expect to be the majority, right? You'd expect white people to be the majority, but we're seeing that they like people just won't hire you based off just being white. So it's scary times here. So, but Warner's apparently going to keep this program in place. And you know, I don't have much to say on that. Hopefully they're hiring everyone, not just like, you know, one particular race. I hope that they're you know, being really truly diverse and hiring everyone from every background. But something tells me they aren't. You know, I have a feeling. Just a hunch. So creators break into the highly competitive field. The workshop will be moved to Discovery's diversity, equity, and oh god. Whenever they say diversity, equity, and inclusion, that usually means they're not hiring white people. Okay, so I'm not happy about that. They probably should have got rid of this trash. These changes at Cartoon Network Studios come at a time when some of its cartoons have already become harder to track down and watch. And weirdly enough, I did a video on this. A lot of people didn't watch it, or well, like a bunch of them did. But I want to go to here and Teletoon. Okay. So I said, woo, Teletoon saves a lot of the removed HBO Max content. So here in Canada, there's this new streaming service called Teletoon Plus, right? If you guys grew up in Canada, you probably know what Teletoon is. It's just a channel with a lot of cartoons and stuff. So they made Teletoon Plus, okay? And over at Teletoon Plus, they for some strange reason, they literally have like the entire catalog of HBO Max, like all the shows they removed and a bunch more. It's crazy. And like honestly, I was just shocked that they have literally Teletoon has probably more cartoons at this point than actual HBO Max, which is just nuts. So yeah, in a time when it's harder to track down and watch these cartoons, you have to go to Teletoon Plus in Canada to watch them now. The cuts also arrive on the heels of Discovery's acquisition of Warner Media from AT&T. HBO Max and Discovery Plus are set to become one streaming service in 2023, which is pretty interesting there. And now a lot of people are speculating, will they change the name to like HBO Discovery? I personally really like the name HBO Max. I'm really sick of all these other ones calling it like, you know, HBO Plus or whatever the fuck. You know, it's like Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, you know, whatever. You know, Teletoon Plus. We were just talking about Teletoon. I'm getting really sick of all these pluses and, you know, Paramount Plus and oh my god. Enough with the pluses, for fuck's sakes. You know, if you guys saw that South Park episode when they were the COVID special, when they're older, you know, it's like all the restaurants in the future are like Applebee's Plus. Like, good God, that's what we're going towards now. It's nuts. I really like HBO Max. It's a very simple, like HBO Max, very simple. No, it's very unique compared to all the other ones, in my opinion. I really enjoy the name. I really do. But will they some of you guys have messaged me in my comments section and you're like, Sandro, you know, are they going to call it Discovery Max, right? Are they going to change the name? I really hope not. I really, really hope not. And they are set to become one streaming service in 2023. After taking over in April, CEO David Zaslavs, one of the most hated men on the world, but like he's doing his job. He needs to save the company, right? The company is not millions, billions of dollars of debt. David Zaslavs, as much as he is hated, he is going in there and saving the company from bankruptcy, right? Because if they go bankrupt, then we don't get any shows, you know. Well, I guess the titles would be sold off to like goddamn Netflix or something, where they would just be turned into garbage, you know. God, I can't tell what's worse, Netflix or HBO Max right now, you know. I just hope they don't end up in Disney's pockets. Jesus Christ, no. That'd be the worst case scenario if Disney gets them. And he's taken an aggressive approach to get there. David Zaslavs has made good on the promise, and mainly in the area of genre entertainment. In August, Discovery laid off 14% of HBO Max staff, Christ almighty, and canceled The Batman Girl. This was the first round of the CHOPPENING. I did videos on this. And then right after they canceled Batgirl, they canceled Scoob Holiday Haunt. And then Scoob Holiday Haunt, apparently it actually wasn't canceled, and it might be put on a different streaming service. So yeah, Scoob Holiday Haunt, it's kind of up in the air still, but it looks like it's happening. Later that month, beloved cartoons were yanked from HBO Max. I talked about that one too. And again, most people didn't know that they're on Teletoon Plus here in Canada now, which is just wacky. That's still a way to legally watch them. You'd have to get Teletoon Plus. You might need to get one of those, what are they called? VPNs to maybe like get Teletoon Plus to watch all these shows, but they are available on Teletoon Plus. Blindsiding the cartoon's creator I talked about this, like Victor and Valentino and Summer Camp Island, they were going to get yanked off the show, and then the creators had a bit of a backlash, and they're like, please just let us air the final seasons, and Cartoon Network said, yeah, we're going to let you guys air the final seasons of those shows. So yeah, dozens of Sesame Street episodes were taken off the streaming platform, and other shows were totally removed, including fan favorite I Do Not Like This Show. I watched every episode. I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, if you didn't like it, well, guys, there was nothing much on TV, you know, honest to God. Cartoon Network, I was always a fan of Cartoon Network. Used to watch all their shit back in the day, from Powerpuff Girls to anything that was airing from other countries. Like, was Totally Spies American, or did that come from Canada? I don't even know. Or Martin Mystery. Like, I would just watch anything that was on Cartoon Network. I was watching it. Even like anime from Japan that was dubbed, right? Bobobo, it was an anime that was dubbed in English. I would watch everything, right? Courage the Cowardly Dog, Codename Kids Next Door, Dexter's Lab, everything on the site. And as I got older, you know, I feel like I wasn't watching as many shows, so I went back. I picked up like Adventure Time, and I picked up like, you know, OKKO when that came out, and Steven Universe. That was also a pretty some of you guys really like it. Some of you guys, I'm in the camp where it was just the most mediocre 5 out of 10. But OKKO, not a fan. Literally in the final episode, the KO, that's the main character, his dad ends up being gay with his main villain. Okay. Oh my God. So the equivalent of that, Super Mario, right? Super Mario is always fighting against Bowser. Imagine if Super Mario's father was introduced as this mysterious character, and then suddenly, the fuck out of nowhere, he is a gay guy. Despite giving birth to a child, his dad is just gay now, and he ends up with Bowser. Mario's dad ends up being gay with Bowser. That's literally the ending of fucking OKKO. Boxman ends up with his dad, and they're gay. Oh my dear God. It's OKKO, honestly, it never had impressive writing. It really just never had impressive writing. It was I would even say it was a pretty woke show towards the end. Not originally. Originally, the show was kind of like this cool little, like, you know, fighting. It felt like a fighting game. The main character felt like a Street Fighter character. Then they get woke with it as the seasons go on. It's kind of like Star versus the Forces of Evil. The show just gets woker and woker until you're like, I'm sick of this shit. And Steven Universe too, similar situation there. So OKKO, honestly, I don't know how they're calling this a fan favorite. This was trash. Let's Be Heroes, as well as now Infinity Train. Now that was a great show. I'm very sad that show got canceled. Which ran for 4 seasons. It is no longer airing on Cartoon Network. It can luckily still be found on other streaming services, Teletoon Plus here in Canada. Other shows like Summer Camp Island and Victor, I just talked about this. They weren't going to air their final seasons, and that, you know, you guys could go watch my video if you need a refresher on that. And Cartoon Network came out of the woodwork and said, guys, we'll air them. According to Variety, output will remain the same. Okay. So, output. Okay. So they're doing a bunch of job losses here, but apparently, according to Variety, output will be the same following the merger of WNA and CNS consolidating. But the response from the animation industry denizens and pundits has not been as optimistic. So Cartoon Brew, now this is a site I often use for news articles and stuff, declared the studio is gone. It's just gone, apparently, which inspired pushback from Cartoon Network staffer. Polygon spoke to Warner Bros. Representative who said CNS is not disappearing. And again, we're getting a lot of YouTubers that are saying misinformation, like Valskabum there. I also saw a video from the quartering that was pretty whack. Quartering. No, not YouTube is screwing us. They probably are, but I saw get woke, go bro, got woke, went broke. Cartoon Network collapses. Again, not the case. They're just merging. They're doing a lot of merging here. You guys could probably go watch that video. He's a very popular guy. I love the quartering stuff. This video, though, I think he maybe should have did a little more research on it. And so should Valsky Bum over here. And going back here, Polygon spoke to Warner Bros. Representative that said it's not disappearing and it still has many projects in development. The real question is how this joint division will set its priorities, which is more or less dependent on what viewers actually watch. Imagine that. Imagine holy fuck, what have they been doing this whole time? Have they just been making woke garbage shows like OKKO? Like, holy fuck. So they're actually going to finally make some shows depending on what viewers actually watch. Oh, God. Get ready for Teen Titans Go 2. Because oh, my God. The kids always just watch that Teen Titans Go bullshit. Oh, I hope they don't make more Teen Titans Go. And what the company deems profitable. Oh, no. More Teen Titans Go. I feel it. Please, no more Teen Titans Go. I'm sick. I'm sick of it. Mostly digging into each representative animation studio's back catalog heightens the difference between the two over the years. A difference many of us who grew up watching and obsessing over Cartoon Network's various cartoon blocks could easily identify even before the consolidation and layoffs. It's hard to know how these two studios will come together, especially after these layoffs have left so many talented employees jobless. Indeed. And then it just goes over some of the more... and again, Adventure Time, every show has to have a gay character now. Why not? Bubble Line. Oh, God, they're talking about Bubble Line. Fuck this shit. What the fuck? Why are we talking about lesbian Jesus? What the fuck? Where did this article go to? This is why I don't like Polygon. Fuck Polygon. Let's go read a different one here. What happened to Cartoon Network? And there were I read some stuff about massive layoffs. Yeah, it says here that only 82 staffers received pink slips on Tuesday. Here, I read other places that they laid off a shit ton, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's go to Cartoon Brew and get the scoop on what they got here. Cartoon Network Studios, as you know it, is gone thanks to they only apparently the 125 positions represented 26% of the company's workforce across those units. So basically, they're laying off 82 people, and they're not going to fill 43 more. So that's 125 positions. One fourth of the company is not going to be working there anymore. But they're making it sound like Cartoon Network studio, it's gone. It's fucking gone. Cartoon Network is gone. It's not gone. They still have 75% or 76% of the, or 74. They have 74% of the studio that's currently employed. So they're doing some restructuring very clearly. And it seems like they're actually going to start making cartoons that are profitable and that people actually want, which is a really good thing. That's a really good thing. We don't need shit like on Netflix where they were making garbage shows like, what was that one? Anti-Racist Baby. You guys remember that trash? They were going to make a show called Anti-Racist Baby that got canceled. Oh, my Lord almighty. Yeah. Oh, my God. This show never got made, and I hope to Christ it never does. What trash. Anti-Racist Baby. Like, what the fuck? And by the way, this is the same Netflix that still to this day has Cuties, a show that literally shows little underage girls twerking. This is literally a show here that Oh my god, I'm looking at Ted Cruz holding this garbage book. But yeah, Netflix is literally just a streaming service that has very disgusting and creepy shit on it, honestly. We even seen there was like drag shows and stuff. It's just crazy. They had like a documentary on men getting pregnant, just a bunch of crazy shit. Ted Cruz bizarre anti-racist baby triad backfires. I don't fucking know. This book just looks like garbage. I can't believe Netflix picked this trash up. Anyways, well, it got canceled, so thank God. But yeah. So we apparently 26 or what was it? 26% got axed. Where's that Cartoon Brew? Let me find that. Cartoon Brew. There we go. So 26% is not getting, or 43 are not getting hired. 82 got laid off. And so they're consolidating, you know, they got to pay back that debt. So this is how they're doing it. Now, they are going to have to, the fact that they're not hiring those people means they're going to have to squeeze a lot more out of the people that are working there, which, you know, the other article we just read says that they're not going to stop their schedule, which is very concerning because that means these people are going to get overworked. But I really hope that doesn't happen. That's just big yikes. It's sad to see, but I understand they're trying to restructure. They're trying to get back on track. They're trying to get out of possible bankruptcy because they have to pay back a lot of debt. So yikes. So yeah, Cartoon Network is not going anywhere. They're just merging Cartoon Network Studios. They're just merging it, folks. They're merging Warner Bros. Animation and Cartoon Network Studios, and they're just consolidating them. So Cartoon Network is not gone. It's not gone. It no longer has any independent say on either creative or operational matters, something that has never happened before in its existence. Now, that's a bad thing, right? That's a bad thing that they're not going to have creativity, which is kind of sad. But, you know, they got to make money right now. I understand how it works. If you want to survive as a business, you got to make money. So I understand the pivot, and I hope it doesn't last long, right? Like, I hope we do maybe 3-4 years where, like, Cartoon Network recuperates their money. I know maybe it'll take longer than that. Maybe it'll take 10 years. But I think eventually we're going to get back to a place where they can be creative again, and we can get back on track, and they won't go bankrupt. That's the best. That's the most important thing, I think. This also sees an ominous sign for the future of new original Cartoon Network animation. WBA has traditionally been much more of a catalog IP-driven studio, while Cartoon Network Studios has been the studio that puts out original series and specials that occasionally become touchstones for generational viewers. Yeah, every now and again, Cartoon Network releases a real banger. Over the last decade, CNS Cartoon Network Studios produced shows such as Uncle Grandpa, a show I really don't like. I feel like I lost brain cells watching this garbage show. Steven Universe, a very woke, not good show that I give 5 out of 10. It had a couple of animation scenes here and there, but for the most part, Steven, it's another one of those shows where it starts out like a nice little villain of the week type of show where they go and fight or solve a problem or whatever, and then as time goes on, it gets more complex. By the end of it, Steven is just a depressed asshole in Steven Universe Future. I couldn't stand Steven in that show. Steven Universe Future, they made him an adult, and he's just this irritable asshole. I just hated it. And then Clarence, I've only I think I must have seen like 5 episodes of Clarence. Was never a big fan of it. Over the Garden Wall, I've seen every episode. Was not a fan of the ending, actually. I'm gonna spoil it. The plot twist is that it was Halloween the whole time. That's the big gimmick there. We Bare Bears, a show that was just very okay. Craig of the Creek, I never really watched it, I gotta say. Summer Camp Island, this is the one with the gay furries. I'm not a fan. Infinity Train, now that was a solid one. And Primal's the best thing listed here. Holy shit. And that was Gendy Tartakovsky, who's working on a new show called Warriors Unicorn Warriors Eternal. Yeah. Unicorn Warriors Eternal. That's one of my most looked forward to shows for the next year. Just to name a few, conversely, WB's lineup has been focusing on catalog of characters, including Bat Wheels. I don't like that one. Bugs Bunny Builders, that's for kids, but I've heard it's good, weirdly. Aquaman, King of Atlantis. This movie is absolute trash, and it should be cleansed by fire. I did a review of it. It's trash. Teen Titans Go, another show I hate. Jellystone, a very mediocre show using old Hanna-Barbera characters. Animaniacs, that's actually very solid. Looney Tunes cartoons, very solid. Harley Quinn is maybe a 6 or a 7 out of 10 at best. Justice League Action was actually pretty solid. I'll give that one a 7. And the Tom and Jerry show, I really didn't watch that one, so I can't say on that one. Under boss David Zaslavs, Warner Bros. Discovery has expressed a desire to focus more heavily on IP across all its businesses. Now that CNS has to share development production resources with WBA, it's difficult to imagine a future in which the studio's original animation output can match what it has been in the past. Yeah, and now that there's less positions, they lost 1/4 of their workload here. They're not going to be able to match what they used to make, period. But maybe in the future they can hire those roles back. That's the idea. Cartoon Network Studios is likely to shift to more strong towards reboots of its existing catalog, and it's currently doing that with the Powerpuff Girls. But this time, Craig McCracken is attached. I'm very excited for that reboot. Foster's Home, I am not... Okay, I did a video. Okay, the Powerpuff Girls, Powerpuff... here we go. Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home both get reboots. The Powerpuff Girls one is very exciting. So the creator, Craig McCracken, is coming back for that one. Foster's Home, they're going to be doing a reboot where it's a daycare. They're going to do the whole thing that they did with Total Drama Rama or Total Drama Daycare, whatever you fucking call that show. Where they're going to be shrunken down as kids, and it's not even going to have the same monsters from like Blue and Ernesto and like Coco and Wilt. They're not going to be in the show. They're going to do an entire new imaginary friends group. However, it is still called Foster's Home, which indicates that Frankie and Madame Foster and Harrington, the rabbit, right? He's probably going to be in. Those 3 characters are probably going to be in the show. But we're not going to see Mac and Blue. It's going to be a toned down kid show aimed for. It's going to be like Teen Titans Go. We had Teen Titans, this mature show for an older audience. We had Foster's Home, this show that was aimed at like more. They're not adult kids, but like tween ages. It was aimed at more of like 10-year-olds. Now we're toning this down to make it more of a preschool level show, which sucks. But I am very hyped for that Powerpuff Girls reboot. I gotta say, the 2016 one was hot trash. Holy shit, I hate that show. Yeah, I feel like I'm running out of breath, and that's gonna be the end here. I think that I covered it all. So Cartoon Network Studios, they're not they're being merged. They're not being killed. And again, we're Cartoon Network. Let's go back to Valskabum here and the quartering and such. Cartoon Network, they're not dying, right? Some people saw this title and they didn't see the studios part here. They're not dead. They're just merging. They're not dead. They're just fucking merging, folks. So they're still alive, even though they lost a good chunk of their workforce. They're still alive. They're still going to be making shows. They're still going to keep the brand name Cartoon Network Studios alive, et cetera, et cetera. We see this here, right? We saw this with, let's go back, I guess here. Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back. Cartoon Network. Let's type that in and let's go to news, right? Let's go to news. Yeah, Polygon. Where the hell's that Polygon article? Again, we get shit like this. Cartoon Network is effectively killing Cartoon Network, and we're seeing a lot of this shit. We're seeing a lot of these clickbait titles. It's not the case. I hope I prove that to you guys, that it's not dying, Cartoon Network. It's sticking around. It's just not going to be in the same capacity as it was. They're not going to have the same creativity. They're going to be focusing on stuff that actually sells and, gets watch time, which is a good thing, I think, for now. We've seen them be creative, and they made a lot of garbage shows. Going back to the quartering over there, he did say quartering. You know, his video here, got woke, go broke, right? Like, he's not wrong. A lot of these shows like Steven and etc. OKKO, they really were woke. They really did make them go broke. He's not wrong on a title like this, but you know, Cartoon Network, it's not necessarily that it's like shutting down. People are like, literally, rest in peace, Cartoon Network. It's not dead. Oh my God. Okay, I have to end the video before I just bust a gasket out here. Cartoon Network is not dying. It is not dying. Repeat, it is not dying. Holy shit. That's the end of the video. I hope you guys got an education here on what the fuck's going on. And, you know, that's going to be it. I can't wait to read those comments. Going to be a lot of wacky shit in there. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And why not watch an ad for your boy Sandro? Peace out, bye-bye, and have a great time.